During the English Civil War, 1642 to 1651, the Dutch Republic played a significant role, although not directly involved in the conflict. The war was primarily fought between the Royalists, who supported King Charles I, and the Parliamentarians, led by figures such as Oliver Cromwell. The Dutch, who were engaged in their own struggles for independence and global trade, had several indirect but crucial interactions with England during this period. The Dutch neutrality and economic interests. Although the Dutch Republic remained officially neutral in the English Civil War, their involvement was shaped by their economic interests, particularly in trade. As a major maritime power, the Dutch controlled vital trade routes and had economic ties with both the Royalists and Parliamentarians. The conflict in England had a significant impact on European trade, and the Dutch were keen to maintain stability in their own commercial ventures. Naval engagements and trade. The Dutch had a considerable presence in the English Channel, and their involvement in the war primarily took place on the seas. Both the Royalists and Parliamentarians sought Dutch assistance, particularly in terms of financing, supplies, and naval support. The Dutch fleet, commanded by the Admiral Martin Tromp, was a powerful force, and at times, both sides sought to secure Dutch ships and resources for their causes. At various points, the Dutch allowed both sides to use their ports for shipbuilding and refitting. The Parliamentarians, in particular, were able to secure trade routes with the Dutch, which helped fund their war effort. Additionally, the Dutch were instrumental in ensuring that England's naval power was maintained through trade agreements and military exchanges. Dutch mercenaries and military aid. While the Dutch Republic did not directly send large numbers of troops to fight in the English Civil War, they did contribute in a more indirect fashion. A number of Dutch mercenaries fought on both sides, particularly in the early stages of the war. These soldiers were part of the broader European network of mercenaries who moved across borders to support various factions, often for financial gain. The Dutch also served as a base for Royalist exiles during the conflict. After the defeat of the Royalists, some Royalist leaders, including Prince Rupert of the Rhine, fled to the Dutch Republic. They continued to seek Dutch support for possible future military actions against the Parliamentarians. Impact of Dutch involvement. Although the Dutch did not directly intervene in the conflict, their involvement in the English Civil War had important implications. The Dutch were able to maintain their commercial dominance during the war, often benefiting from the disruption in English trade. Additionally, the Dutch Republic's relations with the English Parliament allowed them to maintain access to the English market, which was crucial for their economy. Furthermore, the period of Dutch neutrality in the English Civil War showcased their pragmatism in foreign policy. The Dutch Republic carefully balanced its relationships with both factions, focusing on maintaining its maritime power and economic interests while avoiding direct military entanglement in the civil conflict. Legacy. The Dutch role in the English Civil War highlights the broader European dynamics during the period. While the Dutch were not active combatants, their economic, diplomatic, and naval contributions played a critical role in shaping the outcome of the war. The interaction between the Dutch Republic and the warring English factions also laid the groundwork for future cooperation between England and the Netherlands, particularly in the realms of trade and naval power. In the long term, the Dutch involvement in the English Civil War helped solidify their position as one of Europe's leading maritime and economic powers during the 17th century. It also contributed to the growing influence of Parliament in English governance, as the Dutch Republic itself was a model of republicanism and a rival to monarchical rule.